Jacob, mourners continue to arrive as well, and others were asked to a little bit stay in the family home while the preparations behind me were just being finalized. We are expecting that in a short while the program will be beginning, but that, of course, waiting for the president to arrive. We understand that he'll be landing in a chopper just a few hundred meters from where we are, and then he will then be ushered into the main event here. That's where, of course, later on we're expecting that he'll be delivering that eulogy. And as you rightfully say, that mourners continue to arrive here as you see other people moving into the marquee. And one of them who's expecting literally to be going into the marquee is Lesley Musina. You might know him from your screens, an actor and a presenter as well. And you have been of interest to the Bapedi nation, the Bapedi kingdomship. We've seen some of your stories and series on that. You've extensively researched about this. And what does this now mean, development-wise, and as well as in assistance to the development of young people, upskilling of development? The king was said to be playing a crucial role in that regard. What does this now mean, his death?
Yes, good morning, Pelane, and good morning to your viewers as well. It's a watershed moment. It's a very sad moment because we were all hoping, just after the king, took over the throne, that he's going to unite the entire Bapedi kingdom, of which he had already started, with his efforts to try and unite Bapedi kingdom. But unfortunately, because of what has just happened now, it's quite sad. But I do believe that the programs that the king had already started, and one of them is Royal Bapedi Kingdom, which is Royal Bapedi TV rather, which is where I come in. Is that I believe that the program will continue because it's a TV channel in order to speak to the nation, in order to educate people about Bapedi culture as well as idiosyncrasies and then a whole lot of other things, the rich history of the Bapedi people. So it's quite sad, just to go back to what you asked me. But I do believe that his legacy will live on.
Definitely. And as I do talk over the visuals and you and I continue to talk, the president, I'll just ask Lesiro to show the president arriving there. As you can see the torch lit and the helicopter hovering around the area. The president will be landing anytime soon, people moving in. But talk to us now about some of the things that you feel that the young people in the area should not be distraught and continue to pick up where Thulare was literally coming through to say young people should be concentrating on that development and upskilling.
All right. The beauty about this area is that this area is quite well endowed with a lot of minerals, your chrome, platinum, and as well as other minerals as well. There's a lot of unemployment in this area, but I think it just boils down to not fully utilizing what God has given us, what God has given this wonderful area. And the king, I know that those are some of the things that he was looking into, creating employment. He would always say words such as creating jobs for the community, because he could see the plight, the poverty that is in this area, that is literally sitting on some of the biggest deposits in the world of chrome and platinum, so to speak. So I think it's really just about for young people to yearn and just keep educating themselves and learning, getting different skills, empowering themselves, because this area indeed, can really look after them, and I believe that it will look after them. And those are some of the programs that the king had put in line and had lined up and put in place. So I just want to say to young people in this area that they should not despair, they should not be despondent. Certainly, I believe that positivity will come out of this, as sad as it is, but in honor of the king, in his legacy, young people should continue with some of the programs that the king had started and tap into what is already here.
Lesley Musina, the actor, presenter, a TV personality. Thank you very much for your time there. As you can see now, Liesl, on your screen, Liesl and Jacob, the president is arriving. The chopper has now landed. We're expecting that he will then be ushered into the main tent where we are just standing outside. There are scores of dignitaries that have arrived, and we do know that the protocols of the presidency are here to ensure that all health protocols are adhered to. Some people will be left in the family home that is about 70-80 meters from the main event, so that there are only 50 people that will be inside the marquee, and of course some other people will be in the main home. So on your picture, as I rightfully say, waiting for the president to make his way out, for course, for technicalities there. Those who are able to fly a chopper would know that they should be some time for cooling off. I wouldn't know that. I think my Corolla just stops almost immediately. But I can tell you that, Jacob, that a lot of we've seen other kings coming through here, and of course coming through to ensure that they also pay their last respects as we wait for the president to make his way inside the marquee. Jacob?
All right, Pelane, a very interesting discussion you had there earlier with your guest talking about the mineral-rich area of Limpopo when it comes to things like platinum and chrome, etc. And it's very interesting to hear the work that the king had in place to do there to try and empower the people of Limpopo when it comes to the employment. So what happens now in terms of making sure that the people of that area are going to be properly looked after now that the king is now late?
Well, now the king may be late, but the foundation in itself and the royal Bapedi television continue to function. That is what we are told. And then their CEO and as well as the people that are working within the foundation are going to be trying to ensure that all remains in place. I'm just going to be standing outside short as I continue people coming through there. But yes, all remains in place, and you'll be able to see that the programs that are meant to continue should be able to continue. That is the tar roads in the area, that is the schooling facilities. We are talking agricultural, either colleges or university. There is the Sekukune College of Education that used to exist in the area, and that particular infrastructure remains redundant at this particular point. Quite a number of institutions which used to operate in the area are no longer in use. Now we are told that the king had a vision that those facilities should be reused, and other tertiary institutions have been approached already to open satellite institutions in the area, offices rather, campuses in the area, so that they could be able for young people to continue to learn instead of driving hundreds of kilometers either to Pretoria or even to Johannesburg and other places, while they can have educational facilities in the area. So that was one of the main concerns that the king had said he wanted to deal with, and we are told that the foundation in itself, the Thulare Foundation, King Thulare Victor Thulare Foundation, will be continuing to do its work from all the written transcripts that the king had already put as his visions and missions going forward. Jacob?
All right, Pelane, I just want to talk a little more about what's currently happening now. It seems as though the helicopter has landed. Thank you for keeping us included in those visuals. The president is expected to give his eulogy. What are the numbers looking like when it comes to social distancing? I mean, somebody as King Thulare was such a big figure in that area. Many people are obviously trying to get a glimpse of either the president or how the proceedings are taking place right there. How are our COVID-19 regulations being upheld for a man of this stature being laid to rest, and the President of the Republic landing there to deliver his eulogy?
Definitely. I mean, I'll just ask Lesego to show you to his left, rather. That is the main marquee. There we are told, as you can see, that people are waiting to be screened going into the marquee, queuing a little bit there, going into the marquee. The marquee in itself only has 50 chairs, we are told. So there will be no one who will be allowed to stand. Even ourselves, as the media, will not be allowed to go inside there. We are receiving a pool feed, so we will not need to come through. As you can see, I saw that the presidency's motorcade is also arriving. I'll also ask Lesego just on his right to show you that the president is also here, and his motorcade, I think that should be him there with vehicles coming through into the main area. So the president arrives literally just 10 months after he has given or signed off officially a certificate of kingship of the Bapedi kingdom to Victor Thulare Victor Thulare III. And in that instance, that is after the Constitutional Court had ruled that the rightful heir was him and not that of the family of the then acting regent king, who was KK Sekhukhune, who had literally always said that he may not be the king, but there are people that he was a standing regent for, and it was not Victor Thulare, but the Constitutional Court ruling otherwise to say that that is not the case. Thulare Victor Thulare is the rightful heir, and then signed off that certificate in March of last year. And since then, we do understand that they were waiting for a formal inauguration after the COVID-19 storm has passed South Africa and the rest of the world, and the hope was that would come sometime soon. Unfortunately, an event is being held here today, but the event is not that of an inauguration, but the event is that of his demise, the king. And quite a number of people came here to bid farewell to him, including the president, who signed off that certificate recognizing him as the rightful heir of the king of Bapedi. So it shows you that the president had considered the documents and also considered the Constitutional Court's judgment and did what he thought would be the rightful thing to allow some sort of development. Because I can tell you, Jacob, one of the reasons why there was lack of development in the area, it is we're told by a lot of companies, mining companies, could not particularly take on any kind of commitments to say that they want to give a particular community money, because there were divisions sought on traditional leadership. So who was going to give instructions and who was going to be receiving such monies for development, or who's going to be the trustee of those particular developments. So those were some of the challenges we're told, the reason why there was no development whatsoever. Now that in itself, the certification of Thulare Victor Thulare III was going to allow the development that was so much needed in the area, and that in itself allowing a centralized communication channel that would mean that when people come through to do business in the area, they know exactly where to go to, and then the king in itself will also analyze if that particular concept will be of any help to the people of the Sekhukhune area, the Sekhukhune district in itself, Jacob. So on your picture currently, we are waiting for the president to step out of his vehicle there, and he, of course, the event, we are expecting that it will start any minute now for it to officially be on, for him to be officially be on the program. It's a 2-hour program from what we've seen, and he will be giving the eulogy. And of course, the acting premier at this moment is Biskop Makamu, who will also be talking on behalf of the provincial government. They still hoped and harbored hope that they will be able to work some more with the king, as Sekhukhune is one of the biggest districts in the province, and also the biggest voters of the African National Congress, where they always come through with a lot of votes in the area. Currently the municipalities in here is also led by literally led by the African National Congress. So giving you that indication, Jacob, I could say, as I conclude with the pictures that you see there, we are waiting for the official program